So to my sons and daughters, nieces and nephews. To my sons and daughters, nieces and nephews. Outside of my immediate house. So all of my children have godparents. All of their godparents' children are our sons and daughters. All of my first cousins, second cousins, third cousins, fifth cousins of any that raised us, their children are our sons and daughters. So now that we know who we talking to, when y'all be hearing me say you worth your weight in gold, first of all, you got to understand that Xavier and Deja's grandmother, your Aunt Bev, Beverly Webb, invested in performance arts and fine arts. And she had a vision, not just for me and my sister Terry, my sister Terry and my brother Larry can boast that we raised Xavier and Deja because of mom exposed us to the arts at Oakwood University, a double music major. So when I talk about the arts, I'm talking a call that some challenged my mom to go and save their daughter. I have an Aunt Henrietta, my father's aunt, my Uncle Richard's wife. She had raised her children in church, in the church schools, sent her children to the same academy. My uncle, my father's younger brother, Reginald Leggett, when my dad and mom got married, Aunt Julie, my mother, Beverly, my uncle Billy, Hunter, Mathael and Dwight and Levita's father, and my father, Frank Leggett, me, Terry, and Larry. From marriage. And when we got married, my uncle, my wife's, my mom's younger brother, not gonna say her name. We're at Pine Forge Academy together. So my mom already had two younger siblings, Julie and Gary. And when my mom and Aunt Julie got married, my mom had a younger brother in her family, Gary Webb, and a younger sister, Julie Webb, and they're standing at the altar. But in my dad's family, my mom also told us I have a younger sister too. And I got a younger brother too. See, this was the thing about Beverly Webb. This was the thing about Beverly Webb. And I know my pops tried to talk about some years ago, blended family. My pops can't hold a candle to my mama and how she unified every family that she belonged to. My pops can't hold a candle. You go ask everybody in his family. You got to ask every Mason, every Leggett about Beverly Webb. Ask any of his first cousins, any of them, any of his aunts. Ask any of them about Beverly Webb. Ask his first cousins to this day what they did for mama and what my mama died for them. Ask him. Blended family. Bro, you grieving the Holy Ghost by not giving credit where credit is due. My mama blended these families. Even after the divorce, my mama blended these families. My mama blended these families. My mama in the cut commanded us to go in the way that she had trained us. And because my father's auntie said, go get my daughter. See, after that high school experience, a lot of my dad's cousins whose parents tried to take them through the greatest educational system, when they still came back home to Trenton, the drugs, the crime, the violence, the heroin, the cocaine. And it's one thing, because his daddy was able to financially move him out of the heart of the epicenter of the drug trade in Trenton. What my dad forgets is, if he had stayed in the Fraser Holmes projects, my pops would have probably been a crackhead too. My pops probably would have been a heroin addict too. But my grandfather invested. My grandfather moved his family out of the projects. Each one of these great pillars did try to invest in their children to avoid the crime, the violence. Each one of them had a different strategy. My Uncle Junior and my Aunt Mary, they opened a business. And they tried Mason's Barber and Beauty Supply. And they tried to create prosperity, investment. And their daughters and my mother and my Aunt Julie worked in Mason's Barber and Beauty Supply. That was one way the family tried to. The other half of the family, I got 4, 5, 6. My Aunt Betty, my Aunt Doris, my grandpops, who all went to General Motors. Who all went to General Motors and got that top dollar. And then my grandfather said, I ain't just gonna be a worker for 35 years. Nigga, I'm gonna use top dollar income to invest in my family and get into the real estate game and get my family out of harm's way. What am I telling you? What am I telling you? When my grandfather and my mother, my grandfather and my grandmother, when they got down on the south side of Trenton, that we call White City, dazzling White City. You know, New Jersey is the New Jerusalem. And the heart of the New Jerusalem, which is heaven, the heart of the New Jerusalem is, John said, I saw a dazzling White City. And when my grandfather moved his family next to the dazzling White City, he looked over in dazzling White City and he saw a queen dominating in performance arts, cheerleading. There wasn't nothing that my mom didn't compete at that she wasn't dominant at. She was the queen at everything. She competed in everything. All around her, my Aunt Libby played basketball. My Aunt Julie ran track. My uncles played football and basketball. And my mom was right there and all of that. Performing arts. trying to tell y'all something. See, God gave us dominion. There's a priceless value. There's a priceless value. And there's a price to pay when you waste dominion. When you allow individuals who are inferior to you to extract $12 trillion a year off of industries connected to the image of inferior athletes. You let inferior group of people called Europeans just state that they are supreme. Okay, well, we got a way to accept that challenge. You got to prove it. And my mom's one passion was all my sisters, all my nieces and nephews, they sing. All of my brothers and sisters, they're all of my family. She's including my dad's family. She's including my dad's aunts. She said all of my family are the most beautiful individuals on the planet. All of my family can dominate anything and everything. And my mom said, we will not settle for servitude. And my father didn't see it. But I did. So when I got a sane queen, and when she gave me the children that she gave me for 30 years, so long story short, the federal government is about to try and get y'all to accept indentured servitude. Because y'all millennials don't know what indentured servitude is, because your parents haven't broke it down. They believe that they get resurrected. Indentured servitude means they put you on a basic income, and you got to come to the federal government for that basic income. But also, they're going to take out your living expenses, everything. They're never going to increase. It's just like the minimum wage. The basic universal basic income is indentured servitude. They did it to our people before. It's called sharecropping. This is nothing new. The sharecroppers in the United States were indentured servants on this same universal basic income. Understand, these same Europeans still hate you. The same federal government still hates you. And so in the midst of this, just to prove that my mom was right, just to prove that we have dominion, we're going to take y'all beautiful faces. We're going to take y'all supernatural, God-gifted performance arts in everything that you do. We're going to loan 1,600 of our nieces and nephews. We're going to loan brothers and sisters in the United States of America only. We're going to make this financial statement and fashion statement in 2022 so that when we come to the world, can't nobody question it. When we step to the world, after we tell you what we're going to do, and by the way, when we do it, it ain't going to be no more DC. This is going to be the final death nail in the British
enslavement, the British alien invasion called Washington, D.C., the U.S. capital has never belonged to the people who live in the lands of the United States of America. It was simply has always been a means for the English crown to extract the wealth from the people who own the lands, exactly like they do in South Africa. If you think you U.S. citizens are any different than how they use Nelson Mandela to extract diamonds and gold and impoverish the South Africans, you're a fool. And this younger generation, they will not be fools like you older generation. And if they choose to, they can. But the 1,600 and the 16 million will stand as a witness against all of that foolishness. And then when they do you, like we tell you they're going to do you, every year we're going to tell you exactly what. Because the European, the British, the English, they ain't never going to leave South Africa unless you evict them. They're not ever going to leave the United States trying to double down and implement slavery unless you physically, forcibly, in every way, shape, or form, evict them. And the God-given way to crush them is to stake your claim in his blessing. You have dominion. We don't even, they the challenge. They got the challenge of throne. And all you're supposed to do is accept the challenge and crush them. You have dominion. Be fruitful and multiply. Replenish the earth, not the USA. Replenish the earth. We just started today.